There once was a guy, and his name was Bert. He was a jerk to everyone at work. Bert was the boss at the local dog pound. He would kick the dogs if they made a sound. There was a day when a dog bit his leg. His foot fell off, so he got a new peg. Bert came home from work and he was tired. He had a long day, and 2 guys were fired. When he got to his house, he fell asleep. He was so tired, and his dreams were deep. Bert woke up, and his coffee was steaming. Little did he know, he was still dreaming. He saw a girl, and her name was Daisy. She seemed innocent, but she was crazy. She wrecked everything in Bert's pretty house, and nothing was left except for a mouse. Bert was mad and told her to go away, but Daisy decided that she would stay. She said to respect other people's things, and maybe next time she won't be so mean. Daisy then put the house back together and dusted his pictures with a feather. She finally left without saying bye. Bert was so happy, he started to cry. He left for work, his house clean as can be. If I respect others, they'll respect me. He forgot what he said about respect. Bert was in traffic, he yelled, "What the heck?" He drove forward and rammed another car. What he did after was very bizarre. He then slammed the door and yelled at the man, "You dim-witted guy, now look at my van." The man apologized and asked to help. "What are you doing?" Bert said with a yelp. Bert would not stop. He then grew aggressive. He said some words that were quite expressive. Bert was so mad he intended to harm. He threw rocks, setting off a car alarm. He was so mad he lost his composure. When he stepped back, he almost fell over. But before he could fall off the platform, he was seized by the man. His shirt was torn. Bert did not care. He was so very glad. The man had saved his life. His name was Brad. Brad then apologized for Bert's torn shirt. He replied, "I'm just glad I wasn't hurt." The two then parted and walked to their cars. Bert began driving. The pound wasn't far. When he arrived at work, he was alarmed. The dog wasn't caged, but it was unharmed. Bert looked up and saw his office wrecked. He grew mad and again forgot respect. A worker of Bert's burst through the back door. As Bert scolded him, he fell to the floor. The late man pleaded and began to sob. Bert yelled, "You are fired. Now get a new job." The worker got up and left the building. Bert was so enraged he felt like killing. He then sprung up and kicked the small canine. As it limped away, it started to whine. Bert then spotted something large from afar. It was a dog. On its face was a scar. This big dog was one that Bert had once kicked. As it leaped forward to him, he panicked. It was the dog that had taken his foot. Bert was scared. He yelled, "You better stay put." The dog did not listen. It jumped on Bert. It bit his good leg. He was badly hurt. Helpless Bert kicked and yelled for assistance. He heard something. The dog kept its distance. At the door was the man he had fired. "Thank you," Bert said gratefully. "You're hired." The man sat Bert down in the nearest chair. As Bert's wounds were healed, he started to swear. Bert glanced at the dog. What it did was odd. It grinned at him and gave him a nod. Bert turned away. He was very confused. He looked back at the dog, who seemed amused. Bert turned his head and then paid attention. There was something the man did not mention. So Bert asked the man, "How did you stop him?" He pulled out a whistle. It was quite slim. When he blew the whistle, the dogs were still. They started to whine. Their cries were quite shrill. The man set the whistle down in Bert's hand. Then he got up and told Bert try to stand. Bert did so and asked, "Why did you help me? I was so mean, but you answered my plea." He replied it was the right thing to do, and for some odd reason I respect you. Bert remembered the lessons he was taught. The ones about respect he had forgot. But this time Bert swore he would not lose sight. He swore to have respect and be polite. At that moment, Bert awoke from his dream. It was odd to find things weren't as they seem. Regardless, Bert was still a changed person. He chose to better himself, not worsen. Bert was now a respected man at work. Never again was he such a big jerk.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Got that on video!